Okay, that's little Betty, about 1940. Is she still alive?
I don't know.
Don't know.
I don't know.
That'd be pretty neat.
It'd
Hey, little
be
Betty,
cool
if
if
you're
she
watching,
did.
drop a comment.
Betty, if this is you, please come for it.
Yeah, come get your stuff.
We got to take a private tour at the Photography in Tennessee exhibit in the Tennessee State Museum. About a month ago, I reached out to the exhibit's curator, and she was more than happy for us to film a quick video for you to have a look too. She was kind enough to answer our questions about how an exhibit is created, how the early years of photography looked, and even some of the people in the pictures. We had a lot of fun, and hope you enjoy this longer look at an entire showroom of the same type of photos we look at and study on our channel. So strap in and pay attention, because this one tour has sparked some spin-off episodes coming soon.
We're here at the Tennessee State Museum. They have this wonderful new exhibit that opened up a couple of months ago called Photography in Tennessee. And it's pretty much exactly what we do on our channel. And with me is Trinae Chapman. She is the lovely curator here for this exhibit, and she's done a phenomenal job putting everything together and letting us come in and kind of take a look around. Thanks for having us, Trinae.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys for coming to hang out with me today.
So tell me about it. How did the idea for the exhibit come up?
Yeah, so with any of our exhibits, they always start with an object list. So our collection has over 100,000 artifacts. So our curators are always doing research on those artifacts to learn more about them. So we put together an object list, and then we say, hey, it might be nice to do an exhibit on this. And then it goes through the proper channels and it gets approval. And then from there, we start the process of developing an exhibit. So
that is so cool.
Yeah.
So how long did it take for this exhibit to come about?
It took a little over a year and a half, basically. So we're in the process of moving our collection right now. So this exhibit took a little bit longer than most of them do. But yeah, a little bit over a year and a half with research, development, design, install, all of those things.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a normal time it takes for an exhibit to get made?
I mean, most of our exhibits take at least a year.
When you were putting all of this together, and obviously all of these pictures are staring at you the whole time while you're handling them and procuring information and all that stuff, did you feel any kind of connection to these folks as they're constantly staring at you every day?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to, right? So you know better probably than most folks that, like, when you do find a photo and it speaks to you, that it really does engage you. You want to know as much as you possibly can about that person or the settings of the photo, or just as much as you can, really. You want to learn as much as you can. So with us, this exhibit is set up from a studio perspective. So it's all organized by the studios who created the images. So we did a lot of research into, like, the people behind the camera as well as the people in front of the camera.
And that's a big resource for people that are trying to find who's in a picture, is the actual photographer. Because you can look at that and kind of determine when they were in business and where they were in business, and kind of narrow your search down a little bit.
Exactly, yes.
So how does a museum get all of these pictures and things for an exhibit like this? Like, where did it all come from?
Yeah, so they come from a variety of different places, but mostly they are either donated to the museum or we purchase them at auctions or somewhere where they're being sold.
Okay.
So the majority of our collection does come from donations, but in certain cases, and I can point a few out to you, we do purchase at auction.
Well, do you want to walk around?
Yes. In 1839, a man by the name of Daguerre invented the photographic process as we know it today. So it wasn't the first photograph or the first capturing of an image, but it was the first commercially viable form of photography that would spread like wildfire. Okay, so it's invented in 1839. It comes to Tennessee as early as 1846. And you have to think at that time it has to go from France across the ocean, across the mountains, and then to Tennessee. So this is like viral in the 1800s, you know. Going back to your question of which one speaks the most to me, I would have to say Matilda Franklin, and she's featured in this case. So when I tell you that this was a last minute ad, I mean that the cases were up. Like we were in here and we were staging things, and we got.
So where did somebody give it to you?
So someone reached out to us and was like, you know, I heard you guys were doing a photography exhibit, and I have something that I think you might want to feature. And then in our heads, because we're like so focused on install, we're like, there's no way. There's no way we could do that at this point. But turns out that it was Matilda Franklin. So who is Matilda Franklin? Matilda Franklin was the personal servant of Martha Franklin Armfield. Martha Franklin Armfield is Isaac Franklin's niece and John Armfield's wife. These two guys are the biggest slave traders of the 1830s. They have the most successful, most lucrative business in the South in the 1830s of dealing with slaves. So this is a person that they actually enslaved, and it descended through the family.
Wow.
So we got a chance to display that, which is
yeah, that's
You said this
amazing.
was a last minute thing.
a very last minute thing. Probably the very last thing that we did. We were putting this together. So I have been trying to do a lot of research on Matilda Franklin because in the group, when it got donated, we got this cased photograph. We have a CDV, which is just like a paper photograph as well. And then we have her obituary. But all of those sources only really tell Matilda Franklin's story from the perspective of the people who enslaved her.
Right.
So I've been trying to find out as much as I can about Matilda Franklin. Her obituary describes her as a lifelong and devoted servant of Martha Franklin Armfield. It doesn't mention anything about her family, like if she had kids, if she had a husband, she had siblings, her parents were. None of that is featured in her obituary. So I think this is the artifact that speaks to me the most because I just want to know as much as I can about her and her life. So this is Catherine Hunt, and then these are unidentified. So in this case, we talk about Black women being caught and photographed peripherally, right? So Matilda Franklin's case is a little different because she's featured by herself. So she's almost like an object of affection, you know? But in these other ones, you have Black women as support for the children that they cared for. So even in this one, you see the woman that's holding her has her hands on the baby's head. And when you close the frame, you only see the baby.
Right.
So her purpose in this image is really just to capture the child. And I could tell you a little bit about Lucy. I know you guys are curious about Lucy. We have this collection of a young girl named Lucy and then her bill of sale, and it's dated 1859. We purchased this as a set at auction.
Okay.
So what's fascinating to me is that for all of these years, these two artifacts have been kept together. You know, nobody just took the photo and was like, oh, this is just a photo of Lucy and keep it. Like, these things were together.
And the fact that it's just on like a piece of notebook paper.
Right. And then on the back of this, there's a handwritten note that alludes to this collection being found again around 1901.
Wow.
And they say they found it back at the old home place. So for over 100, years, well over 100 years, these two artifacts were kept together. What is curious to me is why, like, why would this photo have been taken in order to support this bill of sale? Was it because you wanted to prove ownership? Like, if anything were to happen to Lucy, did you want to be like, no, this is Lucy.
Yeah.
She ran away. This is the bill of sale. This is the photo. That could be a possibility, or maybe like similar to the case of Matilda Franklin, maybe she is an object of affection, which, is difficult for us to wrap our heads around today.
It is, yeah.
Completely different time. One, you don't really see a lot of images of enslaved people in Tennessee.
Yes.
But two, you definitely don't see the bill of sale and the image together.
So were you able to find out anything else about Lucy later on?
Yeah, well, we are still learning about Lucy. We do believe that after emancipation, she stayed in Nashville. And we do believe that she adopted the last name Wagader, which would have been the last name of the man that enslaved her.
Right.
But we really don't know much about her descendants and what her life might have looked like. So the good thing about exhibits like this is that you put it out to the public, and hopefully people will be able to do their own research and be like, oh, well, this is what I found.
Yeah.
Because even though, we're curators, we work here, we don't know everything.
Right.
And you can only, many hands make less work. So it's always helpful for people to write in and say, oh, well, I have this, or I had this idea.
So how often do people get in contact with you about certain things in the museum, pictures or other things from other exhibits?
All the time. So people reach out to us just with questions about things that we have on display or exhibits or anything like that. But people also reach out to us when they're doing their own research. So we don't have everything that we own on display.
Right.
So a lot of times people who are doing research will reach out to us and say, hey, what do you have related to this topic? And we'll be able to provide them with things that may be on display or may not be on display for their research. So we get inquiries all the time, and we split it up amongst all the curators based on subject matter. But yeah, we love to talk to people.
So if you do have somebody that reaches out, like about an unidentified person or with additional information about people in these pictures, what do you do with that information?
So we have like a cataloging system, so it'll become like part of that object's history. So we'll make sure we document that information and how we know it. If it's already on display, a lot of times we'll update the label so that it has the most up-to-date information. But yeah, we try our best to keep everything up to date and cataloged as much as we can so that, 5-10 years down the line, people have that information. As we go through this zone, we call this area cartomania. So after earlier forms of photography like daguerreotypes, ambrotypes, tintypes, CDVs or carte de visite. I'm like very bad at saying it. We usually just say CDV.
Yeah.
So
we'll let other people do their own research on that. Right. They can pronounce it how they think.
So CDVs make photography more affordable. It's still like an investment for most people, realistically, but CDVs open up photography to like the middle class and in addition to the elite classes. So you'll see more diverse people being portrayed in photography, but you'll also see more diverse photographers. And then behind you, James, here is the W.E.B. Du Bois section. We talk about his 1900 Paris exposition. So what a lot of people might not know, or maybe they do, W.E.B. Du Bois, of course, famous historian, civil rights activist, founder, NAACP, all of those things, but he went to Fisk in Nashville.
I did know that.
You did know that? Yeah. Okay, great. We like to claim him even though he's not from Tennessee. Right. So he did an exposition in Paris in 1900 called The American Negro. And his intention was to show the progress that Black people have made in America since emancipation. And he was also very critical of white photographers for showing Black people as caricatures and not expressing them in this way, showing them for what good things they've done since emancipation. In addition to just like, the technical aspects of photography, like how you portray Black skin, So in this exhibition, he included photos of Fisk University, as well as C.C. Dotson, who is a jeweler, or was a jeweler in Knoxville. So we have a photo of his home and then him at work. Wow. And I love this image because like from far away, it's impressive, but like the closer you get, the more details you pick up.
Oh yeah.
So you see like all the people.
You can't see those people back there.
Like this little guy, she's standing behind a bush. He's in a window. Love her outfit.
Yes.
Then he's just watering his plants. So at the turn of the century, photography becomes a viable profession for people. Well, it was already a viable profession, but now people are going to school to be photographers specifically. So in 1904 in McMinnville, Tennessee, W.S. Lively created the Southern School of Photography. It is the first school of its kind in the South and the second of its kind in the entire nation. It's here in Tennessee.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And
McMinnville.
Say that 3 times fast. McMinnville is down in Warren County, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to say it right. McMinnville.
McMinnville.
Like Sheffield.
Yeah, Sheffield. McMinnville. Murfreesboro.
I've gotten in trouble for not saying it right.
There's no Y in Sheffield.
So W.S. Lively educates both men and women on how to be successful photographers and how to open up their own studios. So we have examples of his work in these 2 cases, and then this camera actually is from his studio.
Oh,
so
cool.
Lively became known for like these really big glass plate negatives. So here's another example, which is from the Lively studio of a really large. But yeah, it's really cool. It has like bellows so that you can pull it out or focus it in. And then this lens is actually Bosch and Lomb.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know a thing or two about B&L. Yeah. Yeah, I actually started looking around trying to find who this lady was.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't get a whole lot, but she looks exactly like a lady in that picture over there in the top.
Oh, I think you're right.
Almost like they're related, or the same person, I mean. And this one too, she looks a lot like them. So I was like, I think her might be her, but I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell. But she's definitely in that one over there.
It's definitely possible.
And so I was trying to figure out
which place she is.
That one right up there. Mm-hmm.
And that one.
Yeah. I thought maybe they were part of the Thomas Black estate in McMinnville because they taught. They were like, one of them was a school teacher, but I don't think I got it. But yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting. I'll have to I could pull up our records on this to see if we have any notes, but I never made that connection between all 3 of them.
Different studios too. One's Hughes and one's Lively.
Yeah, but they're
they'd be right down the road.
They're all McMinnville, and Willie Hughes, the daughter of Anthony Brady Hughes, she went to Southern School of Photography.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was a graduate.
Yeah. You got it right there.
Yeah. So I mean, it could 100% be possible that they're photographing the same person.
Mm-hmm.
They're all in McMinnville.
And whatever collection y'all got these from, they could have been, lopped together.
Yeah. See, I'll have to go pull that up and look now to see.
It'll drive you nuts.
It'll drive me crazy now.
It's going to drive you nuts. I spent probably 2 hours on it yesterday. And I was like, oh, there's something here.
No, you're onto something for sure.
So this book is super nice.
Thank you.
Like what exactly is this?
So we wanted to do something interactive, one, for this exhibition because, people like to touch things, even in museums. Like, people want to put their hands on stuff. So we thought that this would be a good way to not only blow up some of the smaller images that we have featured, but tell you a little bit more about their stories. So we have another flip book bag. I don't know if you saw that one.
I did, yes.
Okay, yeah. But this one is a little different. This one focuses on how we learn information from photographs and how we extract information. So I know one that you were particularly interested in was the Little Betty.
Little Betty, right here.
So we actually found Little Betty on an online auction site. And we were able to identify this image because of the studio. So this is a Horace Brazelton image. Horace Brazelton was an African-American photographer in Chattanooga. So in this photo, it is a photo of Little Betty, and it's addressed to Aunt Lizzie. And on the back of the photo, it says West Chattanooga, which is very helpful. Yeah. And then Brian Anna's girl, taken around 40.
Gives you a lot. Gives you a lot to work
yes,
with.
and it doesn't always happen like that, as we all know. Like sometimes people just don't write on the back of images, and it's just lost to time who it is or when it was taken. But with this information, we were able to put in the information that we did know into Ancestry. So we know that it's little Betty. We know her parents are Anna and Fry. And we know they live in West Chattanooga. So the good thing about Ancestry is that it can take that information to kind of give you options on where it might fit best. And we were able to find a match about 10 years later in the 1950 census with a woman by the name of Annie. And then her daughter was Betty Barkley, and she's 10 years older. And then there's two other women, one of them being Elizabeth. So we think that's Aunt Lizzie. So
there she is.
Yeah, so
close enough.
Close enough.
That's good. That's really cool.
I'm convinced. I don't know about you guys. I'm pretty convinced that that's her.
And that's what it is. Yeah, you. And I say this so many times in all of the videos, it's the sum of all the information you can find.
Right.
Because you're rarely going to find that smoking gun that's just like, here's everything you need to know on this one document. You have to find her aunt over here, her dad here, her mom's name might be a little bit different. The ages might even be a little different. But when you put it all together and you stand back, you're like, okay, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
Right. I mean, that would be a huge coincidence for all of those things to be in West Chattanooga and all these people to have the same name. So we can safely assume that that's probably the same family. We don't know much beyond that point.
Yeah. But
we do know that in 1950, they were likely still in Chattanooga.
Is this book available anywhere?
It is not.
No.
You are, I think, the second or third person to ask me that.
Only the second or third.
So people really like this book. It's not available, but maybe I can.
Nice. I mean, just even like the paper is cool.
Yeah, that's a Bryant thing, our graphic designer.
Okay, I might have to talk to him because people have been asking for us to write a book, and I'm like, what would it look like though?
Yeah,
it would look like that. That's so cool.
Yeah, we like this fabric because kids can't tear it up.
Sure.
It's not gonna.
Okay, that's little Betty, about 1940. Is she still alive?
I don't know. I don't know.
That'd be pretty neat. Hey,
it'd
little
be
Betty,
cool
if
she did.
Drop a comment.
Betty, if this is you, please come for it.
Yeah, come get your stuff.
Please claim this photo. We would love to meet you. We would love to meet little Betty.
That'd be amazing.
So that'd be really cool. While we're standing here, what are these?
Yeah, so these are from George Henry Anderson, who was a Black photographer in Nashville. So from our collection, we have a lot of his photos that depict churches, so church congregations. And it seems to be one of his specialties. I say that because he photographed these well-known churches in Nashville like Spur Street, but he also photographed this group in Bell Buckle. So he must have been known, for his depictions of church congregations.
I guess he just loaded up his portable camera like that in the back of his wagon. Or on a train. We've been finding, like in one of our videos, there was a rail car. There was a mobile photography studio.
Oh, nice.
So they just rode the train all over the state.
Yeah.
And he would announce about a week or two ahead of time in the paper that he was coming.
Yeah.
So people would just be waiting.
Waiting to get their photo taken. What's also interesting about George Henry Anderson is that he actually exhibited his work. So that kind of goes to show you photography becoming an art form where people would set up their photos and go view it. So
like a gallery?
Like a gallery. So he set up his photos at the YMCA.
I wonder if he had a discount at the YMCA.
He should have.
Yeah.
I hope he did. Right. Let's talk about Hooks Brothers. So the Hooks Brothers were a brother duo in Memphis, and they operated Henry and Robert started the business, and then their sons took over. So in total, they captured like 60 years of Black life in Memphis.
Wow.
So their collection is very important. Unfortunately, we don't have any here in our collection, but at the University of Memphis, as well as Brooks Art Museum, they have collection of Hooks Brothers photography. And that's how we have these graphics to display. And here we have W.C. Handy.
Yeah, I see that.
So what's interesting is their mom, Henry and Robert's mom, was Julia Hooks. She's a very well-known music teacher.
Okay.
So they believe that she also taught W.C. Handy a little bit when he was in Memphis. Yeah, yeah.
So his mom was a music teacher?
Yes.
That had to be handy.
Right.
I'll be here all day. No, just like a few minutes. Yep. Like when people are in a picture, seeing the outfit is a good way to narrow down a time frame too if you can't find anything about the photographer.
Right. Yeah, so we call this section dressing for the camera. So like I said before, photography in its first couple decades was pretty expensive. So people weren't taking, you know how we have selfies today and we take like rapid fire images all day long? You probably got like a handful of images and that was like it. So people wanted to look their best for the photos that they did take. So we wanted to kind of show people, one, color, because it's easy to forget that, you know, these people are wearing colors.
Right. Everything is black.
Everything is black.
Everything is tones gray.
But people are wearing color, and you know the contrast is very important for how the photo turns out, right? Like the design and the color, all of that plays a very important role in how the photo is going to turn out. So photographers also had props. They had their own costumes that people could put on and things like that. So people really enjoy this section because people love costumes.
I mean, and what people are wearing in their pictures is so important because you can use the style to help date and get things down to at least a decade or so. So
Right.
if you've got a picture in a shoebox from grandma's house and you can't figure out who it is,
Yes.
and there's no photographer or anything on there at all, no clues, you can use outfits like this to kind of narrow down the time frame, and that comes in handy when figuring out your own family.
Absolutely. We have a textile curator here on staff. Her name is Julia Doyle. So she did pretty much this whole section. And she's really good at that. Like, oh, that's 1890s. Oh, that's 1890s.
I saw Julia on the news. She did.
Yeah, she did.
She did a little spot. With the news.
Yeah, that's our Julia. You wouldn't really, this would be considered kind of like leisure wear, like around the house wear. So it's like a house coat. So you really wouldn't wear this for a photograph, but we have this photograph here of this woman wearing like a bed wrap or like a house wrap.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And it says that is more casual attire. In
Yes.
the home, right?
So we don't know why. We think maybe she might have been pregnant.
Okay.
We're not sure.
Maybe her big, fine, fancy dress was in the wash.
Yeah. Oh, I could tell you guys about Champ Ferguson. So Champ Ferguson was one of two. Where'd you go?
I'm right here.
Champ Ferguson was one of two men that were executed for war crimes after the Civil War. And when they were taking him to execution, they took him to C.C. Hughes' studio in Nashville. So this is an image of C.C. Hughes. And then this image is of the Tennessee State Penitentiary. And on the back of this image, it says, "Saw Champ Ferguson hung here." Wow.
Oh, man. And that's on the back of that card.
That's on the back of that card. So once CDVs become popular, you'll see photographers like sell them as souvenirs, as some type of memorabilia. You'll see a lot of Civil War photography that is meant to be like, kept as a keepsake.
Can you tell me why it's so dark in here?
Yeah, we work with conservators. We do that for any exhibition, but we have a conservator come out and look at all of our artifacts to make sure that it would be safe to display them, especially with photographs. Early photography in particular is very light sensitive. So you could ruin it by having it on display and exposed to light for a very long time and you'd never get the picture back. So we made it dark in here because our conservators told us that that was the safest light level.
So no flash photography.
No
If you
flash
come
photography.
turn your flash off.
Please keep our objects safe.
Yeah, we were in here walking around. I saw some ne'er-do-wells with their flash on.
Don't tell me that.
It's not like you don't have a sign every 3 feet.
But yeah, so we keep the lights low so that the objects are safe.
So you're saying it might not be a good idea to display your old family photos in the window on your front porch?
Don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do it. Or if you want to do that, take a copy of it, take a scan of it and do, put a copy up that you don't care as much about, but don't put the original and the only.
Climate control the original and do whatever with the copy.
Keep it.
There you go.
Yes, exactly. When photography comes to Tennessee and is like gaining traction and becoming more popular, James K. Pok is actually president. So we have a president that's from Tennessee during that time. And we have this daguerreotype. It's on loan from the James K. Pok Home and Museum in Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
It is the first image of the interior of the White House.
Oh.
Ever. Yeah.
That one is.
Uh-huh. And it features James K. Pok and his cabinet. So we're very happy to have that. We're happy that they let us loan or borrow.
Yeah, those are right nice of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how does something like that work? Getting things from other museums. How do you guys do that? Do you just call and demand, or do you?
Well, if we called in demand, they probably wouldn't give it to us. But you just ask nicely, or you just network. You tell people what you're doing, what you're working on, and hopefully they're like, "Hey, do you want this?"
Yeah,
you could be like, "Yeah," but we don't make a habit of going around and begging people for things. And it's also just a part of our mission here at the State Museum is to reach out to smaller museums across the state to kind of form a relationship, offer resources when we can, and just to have a relationship that works both ways.
This is a really, really cool exhibit.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So that was this exhibit is really nice.
Thank you.
We cannot thank you enough for letting us come in and giving us a nice little tour.
Of course.
Very knowledgeable. You knew answers to pretty much all my questions. It was great. And that's something that's important too, is I reached out to you guys and you were very welcoming and very excited to talk to me. Mm-hmm. And I get told that a lot by folks that are researching their own families, that they want to call a museum as a research opportunity, but they're kind of shy. They don't want to put you guys out and make you have to, this person's asking me a question. I don't have time for this. So what's it like when someone asks you a question like that?
We get questions all the time. It's nothing to be shy about or to be afraid of. Well, first of all, the Tennessee State Museum is a free museum. So we offer ourselves as a resource to researchers, to residents, to anybody who has questions. We've had people come from out of town, actually, who are doing family history research and wanted to know more about Tennessee history. So they came here. We get questions all the time. So, and there's no question that's too small or too big, or there's no dumb question. Like if you have a question about anything Tennessee related, you can reach out to us. We have our link online. So if you go to our website, there will be an email address where you can email and ask any question that you have.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be a link down below in the description to the Museum for Tennessee, so you can check out this website and see everything that they have to offer at this museum. And if you're in Tennessee or want to make a drive, this museum has it all. Thanks so much for
Thank you guys for coming.